Yes, mate.
We're live.
Daddy Pig. Cool, lad, Jay.
So, right, we're live
and
week 2, and it feels about 3 months in, doesn't it, of isolation and not going fishing?
Yeah. Don't forget, boys, no swearing, we're live. You too, especially you, Jay. What's your language?
That'll be good.
Say what you want. It's after 7. No, well, 7 o'clock.
No, after the 9 o'clock thing, whatever.
So,
we will be.
Should we just get straight into it?
Go. Let's get, and then we'll go off topic later on.
Nice. So, first question, and I think I sent it to you earlier. Oh, I've got an echo of myself going on in someone's...
Yeah, you got a bit weird.
If there's one match you could revisit and change your approach, what match would it be, and what would you change?
Ooh.
Right, one that stands out definitely for me is the last year's Fisher final. 100%. If I had used it, I reckon I could have pushed it back in.
Go on, start again. You went all weird then.
Can you hear me? It's going to be echoey.
Got you again. Go on.
Can you hear me now? Hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All good.
Fisher final from last year, Jay.
Yeah.
If I had your wagglers, mate, I would have pushed bag of clothes because I had loads of fish in front of me, but I just wasn't landing right, you know what I mean? There's so many fish bubbling and cruising and that. I'd love to go and have another do that match again.
Do you reckon that was potential for
100%? Mate. Just shows you. Yeah, if you ain't got your gear, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some awesome, the Keith Easton wagglers, awesome, but for that game, for like mugging, it was just making too big a noise. And they were spooking off it, you could see them, mate. Clever fish.
Maybe. I don't know, dude. I've thought about that match a lot as well, but it was a weird one. That. And fish are so different because you see lots, but they don't eat. I mean, they are very, very hard.
It's been interesting just to have a go with them, you know, like a wagglers and that, you know what I mean? Just to see what's what. I tried traditional waggler, but then, you know, them little Drennan ones that I use.
Yes.
I couldn't get the distance with them. But it's obviously them ones that you've got, then I've got distance with them.
But I'd show you some of them, but my phone's actually resting on the box with them in as we speak. All right, get them out. They're right here in front of me, looking around. But what will mind me, I've said about it for years that it's my biggest regret in fishing. I messed up the first ever major match this final beyond.
Is that when the Powell won?
Yeah, when Powell won it. I think Grant was second.
I remember that because I was on the runners-up final on the Big Lake.
Oh, that was, yeah. Did Perry win?
And I put second in that.
I remember that. I think that was 1 year. Yeah, I should have won that one. Monumentally messed that up. Massively messed it up. I should have won it by 20 kilo.
In what way, Jay?
I fed like a bit of a wally. I fed lots of baits on a catch and shallow. And
yes! That was before you met me as well, wasn't it?
Mostly lots of bait. But no, it was just a long time ago, that though. What's that? That must be 10 years ago. It's 8, 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that was mine. Should have fed more delicately, and I'd have won a big check.
It's great though, isn't it? Obviously, we can talk about these matches about getting back to them, but you know what I mean. You do what you think about at the time, don't you? We could say it about a lot of matches, couldn't we? You know what I mean?
I say that to everyone. I'm teaching about you. It's every single match, even if you've won it, you can do something better, can't you?
Yeah.
I have to evaluate it and think, well, I was a bit of a wally there. I shouldn't have done that. The timing as well. That's what you look back on more. Timing, you did things, and that's what makes you.
When you come off something and go into something else.
Yeah, just how often do you do it and you think, why did I do that? It's got to be a reason for moving, hasn't it? Rather than just, I'll have a quick go over there and see what happens, and then I can always come back to this. You just don't do that anymore.
No, I like that, mate. I like that.
Intelligent answers, wasn't it, for the first question of the night?
It started a bit sensible, hasn't it?
You wait till like half an hour from now when I've done this bad boy, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Keeping relatively sensible then, Tom Lenton, what make float do you use for F1 shallow fishing, and do you change when you're fishing maggots versus pellets?
Depends how big pellets are, doesn't it?
Just stick a BB on, isn't it?
Doesn't matter on the float, does it? Just overshot the bugger and let him pull him out. But no, I use. What do I have? I have Malman Goldies, which I could have got them out. So I'm looking at them as well. They're right here in front of me. We're gonna have a go.
Yeah.
I might go a bit one, folks. We're gonna get one.
Oh, he's going to go. Get
Going
ready,
A1.
mate.
Going A1. We're back in a minute.
Bam. Hey, up, he's there. QNG.
You see me?
Yeah.
Got one. One of them.
Oh, mate. Nice shape then.
Look, that's a bit big one. That's a 0.2. I use them across. But I've got some little 0.1 ones that I use for my caster shallow, which are lovely little delicate ones. And for pellets, I use a copy of the floats that you use for shallow fishing. They're the little pink map ones that we used to use.
Yeah.
Tim Moores makes me a copy of them that don't do breaking. They're bulletproof, and I use them. They're my pellet shallow float.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard shallow fishing. SF2s, map SF2s, or there's a chap called Nathan Love who makes them as well. Is that the same floats? Am I going a bit crackly?
Yeah, I think.
You're a bit weird tonight.
Is that
just tonight, Jay?
Just the noise, you know what I mean?
Do you want to close that one and go back on your phone? Because that was better.
What, my phone was better?
Yeah.
Hang on then. Let me see if... Are you ready for this technology, folks? Are we still live?
Are you going to be on both at the same time? There's a link in the
Right,
message.
so you've got to send me your link, haven't you, Rich?
It's on the messenger group.
Oh, go on.
This is definitely going to go wrong, isn't it?
Here we go.
We might end up with two Andrews.
End this now, then.
Yeah, end it on your laptop and come back and I'll ask Jay a question.
See you later, folks.
Oh, God, I knew the professionalism wouldn't last too long. Oh,
right.
Oh, it's just you and me now, Mitch.
Bless. So, question. Let's do it. Oh. Wow, it actually worked.
Has it?
Is that?
Are we on?
Yeah.
Are we done?
Nice.
I'll do it. Yeah, go on, we're on.
That was worked surprisingly well. So next question was Andrew Bird. If you had a match where every angler had the same tackle, same bait, had to use the same floats and hooks, do you think you'd still have an advantage over the other competitors?
Yeah, without being cocky and big-headed. Yeah, it'd come down to pegs a little bit. But if all the pegs could be even as well, I don't know if you mentioned that, then yeah, because we do it every single day, which massive amount of people at home do once, twice a week.
Yeah.
Obviously it makes a massive difference, doesn't it, being out there doing it all the time. You get to see different conditions and how to respond in, so it does make a big difference. Yeah,
it helps you, what we talked about in that first question, doesn't it? Your decision-making is so sharpened up because you're out so regular. Even though, you and me don't fish many matches at all in the week, it's everything unless the big ones, but even just it makes you see things. You know what I mean? It makes you see that they're doing this now and they're not doing that, and it's for the people that we're teaching, we still know when to swap, don't we?
Yes, yeah. It's getting that bait's the crucial thing, isn't it, Jay? Getting the bait right, and it changes from one day to the next, especially on waters like all over, but certainly like partridge, it just changes all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Depth of partridge is unreal, isn't it? When we can, and it'll be the same for us both. When it will be on different lakes, and we'll say to each other, "What were you doing today?" And they'll have all been like, and weird how it changes like day to day.
100%, mate. Yeah, nuts it is.
That's our main advantage, is being in tune, I'd say.
Nice.
Obviously, the more you do something, it's like any sport, folks. The more you can go out and practice something, the better you're going to get.
Yeah. I've no idea why. You're still really crackly for some reason, but I don't know why. So, we'll just have to put up with it, I think. So blame Corona. So there's been a few questions along the similar line where it's people basically asking, is it possible to compete on matches without spending a fortune on gear? And there's quite a few people saying, like, what's the best sort of budget pole they can get? So what would your advice on someone kind of coming into match fishing now on the sort on the sort of gear they need, and how much they actually need to spend to compete, I think is the question.
It depends what level.
Obviously, it depends on the budget, but I think that the quality of poles these days, certainly like up to 13 metres, sort of 600-700 quid, you don't need to spend a lot. Obviously, Bimmer Map, our best-selling pole by far, is a 501. And for around sort of like £1,000, but even the pole below it, like 401, it's just phenomenal at 13. You can't even really tell the difference between that and like a right top of the range pole at 30 metres. What you pay for is obviously the extra grades of carbon when you go to 14.5 and 16. That's what you're paying the money for. So if you do a lot of fishing at 14.5 and 16, then obviously you're going to spend the money. But if most of it's sort of like 11 to 13 metres, just go for like a mid-range where you get a lot of money, do you?
It is. Concentrate on whatever your local venue is and suit your kit to that, isn't it? Usually, both you and me have party jobbers on about this, and there you don't need a 16-metre 5 gram pole, do you? You could compete with anyone kit wise with a 300 quid pole, couldn't you? Because they're all nice, sensible.
That's on like with these margin poles now, Jay, can't you? These like 10-metre margin poles, you can get a crossbar bank on most of Kobe's.
Yeah, definitely. So it's suited to your venue, but yeah, it's a decent pole definitely makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As does good terminal kit and elastic. But when it comes to like your seat box and whatever else, I mean, I don't think any of that makes a huge difference in what you actually catch. Do you know what I mean? It just makes you more maybe efficient and comfortable and whatever else. But just again, just a basic setup will do the job. I mean, learn your basics from there and then start spending the money when you actually need to.
Yeah. So if it's someone in the position that they've got 30-metre pole and they've got like fishing a 16-metre snake lake, are they going to be better off fishing at 30 metres well or fishing a method or something like that? Would you rather stick within your own limitations or?
Weather dependent. Certainly in the summer, you've got to get into that shallow water, so that's where you're going to need 16, and it's far more fishing on a pole than a method. You know what I mean? Would you not agree with that, Jay?
Every night, but a pole will beat a rod 99 times out of 100 in the right weather conditions, right? Yes.
Yeah, that's the point. You hit the nail on the head there. When they're condition dependent, then obviously a little tiny method comes into play. If you can't hold 16 metres, it's hard enough at parties where it's like 11 metres trying to hold your pole sometimes. But then you just go down the edge and get one and chuck, didn't you? Or go down the middle shell and get one and chuck.
Oh, I love shallow fishing.
Missed that. Stop talking about shallow, you two.
Stop talking about fishing in general. Everyone's just getting withdrawals already after 2 weeks. Or it's not even been 2 weeks, it's been 1 week, hasn't it?
Ridiculous.
So,
am I still cracking though? I'm all right now.
You are a bit. But...
Yeah, it's not as good this week, is it?
No. It's probably because everyone's actually trying to do live feeds at the same time, so probably everyone's doing stuff. Someone's actually meant, who is it, Mad About Carp Fishing. Rich, have you not done the bomb challenge? I have. I did it very badly, I might say. But you just went quiet then. Say again.
You killed the bog roll with your big, massive lead.
Yeah, we hit...
And you did like a backswinger one into the hole.
Yeah, well, I got bored of that point.
We need to chat about this, because I had 2 or 3 of that occur, and all the time I went, no, that's not good enough, and did it again.
But it was in slow motion.
Yeah, no, right, it's got to be straight in. Straight in the hole! Up the tip!
But I'd like... The problem with that, you know them little short rods we used on the challenges? Using that is you needed kind of that 2.5 ounce lead actually compressed it a bit so you could control it. But then the problem was that flying into the bog roll, it pretty much just knocked it over whenever you got anywhere close to it. But you go lighter, you just lose any control because you can't actually compress the rod. So I think I made life a little bit difficult.
Pushing in of the lead as it goes in when it's a solid broom handle.
But yeah, anyone taking the piss, just have a little play with it yourself and see what you can do. It's a lot
harder than what it looks. Yeah, it is.
A horrible. None of us got it quickly. We'll have to admit to that. We both spent several hours in that horrible game.
But
Bagger's not taking it up yet. I haven't seen his video yet, has he?
No, he's definitely still practicing, and he'll want to do it first time.
He wants to get it first time, doesn't he? Simple as that.
Yeah.
He will.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You look at the kind of target you're aiming for. Normally, if you were landing in kind of a foot square, which most of them end up going to once you get into it, you'd be like, I'm casting it mega today, but you're trying to land in like a little 2-inch hole in the middle of that, aren't you? At the right angle.
It is, isn't it? But not a nice game. Don't make us do that again, please.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'll come up with something different. Don't worry.
Can we just do a drinking game instead? That'd be more fun.
No, it'll be that. I can't play that one. I'm definitely.
Jay's lost at that.
Right. More questions. Jason Hunton. What are your thoughts on flexi titanium wire in floats? Can it replace standard wire?
Go on, you go first.
Yeah, I was all for it at the start, but it seems weird now. I just can't get used to it at all. It's so light and it doesn't seem to have the same properties as normal wire. I'm not liking it at the minute, to be fair.
No, I don't like it. I have carbon or I have proper old steel style. Wire floats, because I don't like with a flexi wire that when it's under lots of compression, is that right? When the rig's really tight, if you don't use a load of silicon down it, and even when you do, it bends a little bit when it's under tension because it wants to flex, and I don't want my float to be bent. I want it to be dead straight.
So. What about glass stems? Do you use glass stems? I never see you with glass stems, mate.
No, I don't use them. I use those.
Glass. Come on, talk me through it, Jay.
I just don't use glass. Do you know what I mean? I don't. There's no floats that I use that I need glass with. I've got a few old paste ones that were glass. I know they were carbon, in fact. The paste ones are carbon. No, I don't use pretty much any glass stem floats, but not for any real.
The only thing that glass is good for is all they need drinking.
It is a weird material, isn't it? It's heavy but buoyant, but weird.
I don't know. I like glass. I like glass float. I do.
Why would you use a glass float though in place of a carbon?
Yeah, for shallow fishing, 100%. Yeah. No, I've had a few of the carbon ones splinter from me. You know what I mean? But it's just one of them glass ones. I just think it holds better. And for fishing, for big carp in sort of deep water, we like the obviously the stretch ball deep water. I think a glass being a little bit heavy.
Oh, and
we lost him. Andrew, come back! Can you hear me? Go on, you're back again. Back in the game. I forgot what we were talking about then. I had another sip of wine.
What are you on? Are you on 3G or Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah. Have you paid your bill?
Do you want me to try it on 4G?
Yeah, put on 4G, see what happens.
He's not topped up his phone, that's the problem. Oh, we're going to lose him. Are we going to lose him?
Oh, wait.
I don't know. He's froze.
No, come back, come back.
Oh, no. There's one person he's asked about 23 times, do you know Emma Pickering? Do you know Emma Pickering?
No, we don't really.
No, the name.
No, who's that to Jay?
I don't know. It's just like everyone's asking the same question about 20 times. There you go.
Is it better on 4G, by the way?
4G's a bit better, mate, yeah.
Still crackling, but we'll go with it. Right. My dad asked a question as well, which I quite liked.
Go on, Daddy Chappers!
You're 30 minutes before the end of a big money final, and you're in contention with a guy on the next peg. You burst in to have a piss. You're at the point of no return. Do you stop and take a leak, or do you piss yourself, hoping that you can disguise it by jumping in at the end?
You just go.
Just go, don't you? Just go and jump in, and then it all goes then.
Just go.
He was like, well, not a similar situation, but he was in that situation, weren't you? But you were like miles ahead anyway, so it didn't really matter.
No. When I went for a wee, I'd just gone in the lead, but I had loads of the match left. I had like 3.5 hours left, and I needed a wee.
I remember you going for a wee.
Yeah, that was a good one. I've never ever had to go other than that.
Didn't you come back and like have another chuck and you catch another one straight away?
I went straight down. I caught 6 pounds.
That was when like everyone was catching these and you went straight in and put the biggins, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 2 big monsters and 2 chucks.
Legend, mate.
There was a plan, rest in the peg, wasn't it?
Stop it, Jay. Stop it.
Yeah, rest in peg.
There's a few people asking about your hair conditioner, Jay. It's on.
Yeah.
A couple of people asking what's the white liquid you pour down your top kits, which I'm guessing is that. And then a couple of people asking like what are you using kind of ratios hair conditioner to water?
It is cheapo air conditioner. It's simple air conditioner from, I think my missus gets it from Home Bargains or somewhere, because I like it because it's got no perfume in it, so it doesn't smell. So it doesn't go on my fingers. And you mix it about 7 parts of warm water to 1 part of the which is about right.
So it's not a lot, sort of. Yeah, it's quite watered down, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really watered down. I mean, there's no residue. It's not minging or nothing on your elastic. It's like water in, but it makes it really slippery.
Who is this? Aaron Kenny. Would you ever use 4mm pellets on the method, or do you just stick to 2mm pellets and ground bait?
I think we had this. Didn't we have this one last time? I feel like I've answered this one.
What do you mean ground the method?
Yeah, and no, I have played with that myself. I don't use ground bait either. I'm a pellet one myself, but micro pellets. There's loads of people I know at Woodlands, the one at the top, Woodlands Face.
Yeah,
they'll use 4mm, yeah, and they're a lot better.
What, just for not getting preoccupied, or?
Pardon?
Just for not getting them sort of preoccupied on micros.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why they'll do it. Just bigger pellets, maybe more selected. Maybe there's lots of silvers. I don't know. It's something that needs to be played with. That's definitely not a no. If it sticks on your feeder, why not?
Have you gone quiet, Ant?
I don't know. Have I gone quiet?
Andrew.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
hear me now.
Right, cool. This doesn't feel as good this time. This feels very unprofessional this time. Everything's going wrong.
We're always professional.
Do what? Do you feel that, given that the lakes will have been rested a month or so by the time we go back, will that change how you approach the waters or not?
No, not really. I mean, the fish at the end of the day, that they'll be hungry, or I imagine lots of them get fed anyway, so they might be a bit daft because they haven't had many hooks thrown at them. Or, no, it'll just be the same. I mean, you just have to treat it the same. Hopefully, when we get back, it'll be lift-off time anyway. And it'll be... We're going to catch lots of fish. You missed that question because it went quiet and everyone froze. What was the question?
It's still weird. Yeah, you might want to go back on Wi-Fi then, if it's been weird. Can you hear me now? Oh.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Hear me now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
With all the lakes having been rested a month or so by the time we go back, will it change how you approach everything?
I think I'll just feed even more bait because I'm going to be starving. Right, though, isn't it? I mean, obviously, we've seen on at Partridge, Nelly and what have you, and Babs and all that, they've been going out feeding the lakes and everything, and it's brilliant. You've got to keep look at the stocks, and Western have been doing the same, haven't they? And they're going to be so hungry, obviously. Them fish, there's so many in these commercials. They just, obviously, what they're putting in, it's not going to be nowhere near enough for them. So, yeah, get ready time, definitely.
Do you think it'll be sort of... Because there's always that spell early season where they first get up on the surface and they're like mega muggable, and it's like, is it Western and stuff putting videos up where they're just all cruising around, all dead, sort of relaxed and happy, aren't they? So is it just going to be absolute carnage mugging?
With things like that, mugging will, won't it? Mugging, they're always daft.
I mean, usually when they're being caught 2 or 3 times, they'll have a salt, won't they? And that's when like they go to spawn, and that's when you catch them proper. So like middle of June and what have you. But yeah, there'll be all sorts. I'm just going to set one mugging rig up. Job done. That's it.
That's all you do anyway. Isn't it?
There's the mugging rig everywhere. That's what we do.
When it's straight through, they're having it.
Ooh, are we going to mug? Oh. I hope they're still muggable by the time we go back.
I think they will be, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. I think they kind of forget, like over the course of winter and everything, they almost forget about getting mugged, and then they have that little window.
Yeah.
Which generally was when it coincided with that first Coleman's qualifier. That was always like bang on for the first few.
Oh, talk us through that, Rich. What happened there, mate? Your first fish or qualifier?
Mugged them, didn't I?
Did you? Did you win?
Nah, just about. Not done it since.
Silver's one, mate. First ever Silver's one. You didn't catch many Silvers, though, did you?
I had a tench. Don't forget me tench. Is that silver?
Not very silvery, mate.
Andy Arrowsmith. What's the scariest peg you've ever fished?
Any peg at flipping Messingham Sands Island Pool.
Is that
good shot, that, mate.
That is where tackle goes to explode, isn't it? It's like a mangrovey It's just horrible. I hate going there. For someone that fishes like on the light side like me, that is not a venue that is suitable.
And they're proper angry as well, aren't they? As soon as you up them, because it's shallow and fairly clear, they're just gone, aren't they?
Mental, aren't they? Absolutely. It's good, like, I'd love to have go out there and silverfish fishing. I mean, it's mega.
Oh, mate, them big roaches and all that.
Yeah, I'd love to have a play of that, but yeah, that's the snaggy places that I can think of. Messingham Sands is the one. I don't know what peg it was. Young Les was on a peg there last year. I was on Swan, and he was right in the top corner. He was on the same bank as me, right in the top bank. I don't even know what numbers we were, and that was the most frightening peg I've seen in my life. Like chuck into this island that was all trees, and it was horrible. So, that's mine. But
mine probably been at White because you wouldn't have been Gwinnett, Rich, would you?
No, they don't use that now, do they?
No, so when I was going, they had a bridge peg on Gwinnett, and I drew it, and obviously it's got these stanchions going down. What peg, Jay?
27 it used to be, didn't it?
How do you know what peg it is? You've never been, man.
I have. I've been to Gwinnett when it was old Gwinnett.
Oh, right, okay.
With the two bridge
it's like
pegs.
First peg, like over the bridge. You walk over the bridge, and you're not first peg there, but you're fishing back towards the bridge.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I know which one you mean. Yeah.
You're only fishing like 3 or 4 meters, but the stanchion's going down, and everything you just wants to get under there. I think one of the festivals I was doing all right in, and I had to have a good result of that one, and I drew like it's a proper good peg, like, don't get me wrong. And I fished like 0.28, I think. You know, similar to when I fished at Ehrenbrook in that time.
It was thick.
I did 0.28, 0.25, and they weren't bothered. I just like I had to pull them out.
I remember you doing that at Ehrenbrook.
Oh yeah.
Tell you what, the one that scared us was is it Beaches at Lindholm?
Oh yeah, that's got a couple of special ones on.
I think there's half a dozen pegs on there where it's like it was Matty Pillay at the time who was on about it. And I think what they were fishing just through the number 1 section on a power kit, not both sections, doubled up 16 or 18 solid, and it was literally a case of you hook it,
catapult gear, that isn't it?
Shit back, and to the point they were saying you can't unship your top kit because there was that much pressure. If they were at an angle, it'd just blow your top kit up, so you just had to kind of shit back and lift them into the net. But yeah, I avoided them drawing them pegs, so that's all right.
Yeah, they're not. It's not nice fishing like that, is it? You're just waiting for something to go bang and hurt you.
Yeah,
so I don't like.
Next one was Peter Chilton. Is fishing a method in the margins a viable option when spooked fish and liners are an issue?
What method feeder down the edge instead?
Yeah, rather than pole.
After this year, I'd say no, because I've put. In some situations, who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe to a far bank margin or something. I've tried so many times a method feeder down the edge, and yeah, it definitely gets you bites. But it also, because you're fishing such a tightish line, it's never ever as good as a pole. I mean, they're all
on that funny angle, isn't it? Obviously, your line's coming through that way, and any fish that are like between your rod tip going in and the method, it can spook them at any time. Remember, method on the pole was a rage for quite a bit, and the new pills are Cudmore, Jay.
Yeah, that used to win. It's worth a dabble, isn't it? But no, I think correct feeding and correct presentation on the pole will beat that every single time.
Yeah. Are you not into the whole proper like slackening off, so you've got kind of line as low in the water as possible and almost going carpy sort of style?
Well, again, maybe it'd work, but so there's too many benefits to the pole. Like with your method feeder, if it wasn't stupidly shallow and you couldn't visually see what was going on over your bait, then your pile might be messed up, which it quite often is. When you're fishing a pole and putting a pile in, it gets messed up all the time. And it's only through indications on your float that you know that you've got to redo it. Was with a method feeder, I think it happened quite often, especially at a bit of a range, and you'd never know it had happened. It had messed your pile up, and your bait was left, and your bait wasn't, and you don't get a bite because of it. So no, stop doing that. Just fish properly. Get a pole down the edge.
You tell him, Jay.
Andrew Pearson, are red pellets any good for shallow fishing?
Ooh, no.
No. Horrendous. Get on the white ones.
Woodlands.
Yeah. Oh, I got a bag of blue ones last week. Yeah. 2 bags left.
The whole pellets, they're amazing. I love them.
Would you actually feed them, or is it just a hook bait?
Yeah, feed them as well.
What, red ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, feed the red ones, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done videos on this, so it's kind of out there, isn't it?
It's just nuts, isn't it? It's massive.
We have 100% of the time a red pellet wins, doesn't it? It's always the go-to bait before a normal pellet is in many occasions. When with big hard pellets, isn't it? When fishing shallow or when they are mega.
Would you do it on the deck?
It's that colour again, that red colour. It's I don't know what it is. It just stands out, and obviously it must be visible.
Yeah, it is. It must be a darker silhouette in it. We're losing him again. Is he back?
No.
Got you again.
Oh.
Hear me now. Hear me now.
Right, let's have a scroll through. Rich, have you ever qualified fisher? Yeah, standard.
Yeah.
Rich.
What's your favourite drink after a match?
Cup of tea.
I don't do drinking, do I? No.
You don't do drinking.
No. So no. Don't get me asked.
To be fair, folks, I'm not really bothered. I just love. I quite like drinking.
Nice.
Like a Strongbow dart fruit. It's done with Rich.
It's all right, isn't it? It's just like
Followed
drinking
by
Vimto.
Carlin, followed by Heineken, followed by Beck's, followed by Bud, followed by Moretti, followed by Peroni, followed by red wine, and then Kraken, and then finally Jack Daniel's Honey. Folks, get on it. They know.
Someone asking what the next challenge video is going to be.
Well, it was meant to be a trout one, but we had water issues, didn't we, Andrew?
There wasn't a lot of water, to be fair, was there?
We rocked up all ready to catch trout, and they just decided to drain the lake the day before. So
and we tried to do another one, didn't we? Should we tell them about that one? The Pesca one.
Yeah.
We tried. That was quite good. That one. We will do that one.
Yeah. So basically, it was blackjack, wasn't it? Not poker. So 20. Basically, the key you've got to do is get as close to £21 as possible, but without going over. So you can keep catching fish. You've got, what did we do? 90 minutes or something. You can keep putting fish in your net, but once they're in the net, you can't take them out. So it's just a case of whoever can get as close to £21 as possible without going over. And Andy's looking like he's going to do something weird now.
So he's looking for
I was looking around. I just seen Jay with his Daddy Pig. I was looking around. What's in it? What can I bring in? Don't you worry, I've got some folks. You'll see some of it.
But yeah, that's the next challenge. That actually did go quite well. When we tried it, we didn't actually catch many fish, so we had to abort it, didn't we?
It did
rather
that,
hard.
It did that typical feature thing.
Although I reckon you'd have been close if you'd have got that big in me. That was a proper one, wasn't it? That.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. But don't talk about that. That was my only big fish of the year before lockdown occurred.
I think
that's true.
That's probably one of them strange ones that people don't realise. They sort of think you go out on a feature and you're the only one on the lake, and they expect it to be mega, but it kind of goes the other way, doesn't it? A lot of the time.
It doesn't.
Jay'll say he vouch for this as well. Coaching wise, you think it's going to be solid. You got the lake to yourself, and it's so hard sometimes. Once you catch a few fish, they just go. They're a nightmare, aren't they?
November till February is a waste of time 9 times out of 10, isn't it?
To be fair though, I wish I'd done the bookings last year with how everything's gone.
Yeah. The sessions as people want will be accommodated this year.
Yeah. Right. When fishing shallow, do you think that painting your top kits makes any difference?
Not a chance. It's still casting a shadow. Honestly, it's one of them. It's a confidence thing. If you think it makes a difference, then it's going to be up there and it's going to breathe into your fishing. But reality is, I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference. It really doesn't. They look nice, all them white kits, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, I actually went out with Rob. I think it's actually coming out this week or next week, doing an underwater one.
All right.
Rob Hughes is a big advocate. He was convinced you need these grey, blending in top kits. And the day we went out, it was really, really sunny. And when the sun's out, there's always a shadow under, so it looks exactly. A white top kit in the sun looks exactly the same as a black top kit does because there's that black silhouette underneath it.
Yeah. Well,
no, they don't. Unless it's really like a grey, muggy day when it might make a difference. But
yeah, I think that's the example I always go back to on that is, you know, when you've got like your dead flat calm days and they're all like basking on the surface, when you get a bird go over the lake and it just casts a shadow where you just get everything erupt, and just like, if they're that scared of a random shadow going over them, that's obviously what they're spooking off on.
Dead mindful about that though as well. I don't know about you, I'm not so much for F1s when it's short shallow, but anytime I'm caught shallow fishing and I'm slapping on a spot, I'll never slap into my shadow. Do you mean if the pole's coming from one direction, if the sun's coming in from one direction casting a shadow, you always slap away from that shadow. That's massive. That you never, because when you take your pole, it like window wipers, doesn't it? You see the shadow go left. Never want to fish that.
The same when you like see a big one coming cruising in, you've got to determine which way the sun come the opposite way around to mug them, haven't you?
Yeah,
if you go with your phone, you're going to spook it.
Yeah, always shadows are bad. We lost very bad.
Oh.
Who's here again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your preferred float when you're fishing up the far bank?
Depends how deep it is. Depends. It's either. Are they in this one? I've got some in this one, so I'm going through it again. I'll be back in a minute.
Don't do it, Jay. Don't do it. Oh, he's on it.
It's either one of them, or I ain't got me wrong. I either have one of them.
Oh, nice.
Andy Bennett's got the world using. That's a Richie Wilson muddy, I'm going to say. Or I use them quite a bit, the ones I showed you. I use them in a 0.2 and 0.3, then Malman Goldies. I'm a big fan of them. But if not, that's only if the water's 2 foot or less. If the water's more than 2 foot, then I use some Tinmores, carbon stem, whatever, depending what size bristle I want. I can't really send that up there. So they can stay up on the top, like normal again now. I love floats. I wonder when we get to use them again.
I don't know. Hopefully we get to use them this year. I'm similar to Jay in that I'll use sort of like float very similar to the RW Muddy, Nathan Lund one with 6 number 8 shot written on it. You know what I mean, boys? You're loving that, yeah. Amazing. That one like a 2.5 mil bristle again, 2 foot and less. Anything deeper, I'm coming back to that sort of like shaped body, nice thick bristle. You know what I mean? It's all about fishing positive in that shallow water in the summer, folks. So
yes, keeping it still, isn't it, is vital. So big heavy foot.
Right, Kevin Warden. When using short kits, do you drop an elastic size to compensate, or do you kind of go like for like?
I mean, generally speaking, you're using short kits in the summer, so obviously the fish are going to be having it a bit more, and putting the same elastic as what you use for a long kit, it just gives it a little bit more strength anyway, so you don't really lose anything. But personally, I mean, Jay's exactly the same. I don't use an heavy elastic, anything above 10 to 14 map, the map green, which is similar to like a Preston 13H or something like that, or a grey Iso. I won't go any heavier than that. The waters that we fish, they're not snaggy, and it's all about getting them back to your top kit and just keep pulling, basically. So don't fish heavy. We're fishing for mixed fish as well. Obviously, it's not just carp and F1s. There might be hiding there, skimmers, bream, cushions, little Thomases, all sorts. So if you're just gearing yourself up to fish too heavy, you're going to be bumping too many fish. I waffled a bit then, didn't I? I'm sorry, folks. I do apologise.
You did. I like that, though. I agreed with all that. That were, keep it.
Have I done good, mate?
That was good. There was a little craze about getting proper job done when you have to them stupid weights that were happening. That people were proper heavy elastics, like 13. What did you say? 13H. Quite a few people were using. I'd use the orange slick shallow just to get job done. Do you know what I mean? I'd have never thought about it because I usually just go lighter. But yeah, just pull and don't use a puller kit. Just literally let them pull a lassie out, shit back, lift them up, done.
Yeah, I think that was...
Them short shallow kits are amazing. You've not really been on them proper yet, have you, Jay? God help everyone, folks, when he gets on these. Trust me, it's going to be a different beast.
Yeah, little that. It's just I don't like them for carp fishing. I mean, I don't think you have enough elastic, and I don't think
Mate,
the flex.
honestly, you've got to try and the carp fishing, Jay. Down the edge in particular, they're ridiculous.
Definitely just pull and have a go in them.
Do you know, like when you catch a carp on like a little tiny bomb rod, like an 8 or a 9 footer, and they just wobble up there and you just net them?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same with them. Exactly the same with them, mate.
Does it? Makes it, we'll have it. I'm on it. Hopefully.
Where,
if we can get out in time.
as a stranger one, where do you actually do you hold them above the puller? Because that's the only thing I found with them is where I always hold them on the puller.
Pullers like that, innit? I've just got my mitten on it, and the hole's there.
It's just like all on your wrist, isn't it? And you just end up like killing your wrist at the end of a session.
Big chunky.
Just snapping them. Ours are a bit higher. Ours are in the right wicket, so it's nicer. It's where they need to be.
Yeah.
Got a visit coming.
Have you?
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Look, go on, pretend it's not happening. Let's hope it.
What?
I've not had any visits yet.
Just sat on your rocking chair being a bit like...
Hello, Soph, you okay?
You playing with
Are you
Mummy?
playing with Mummy? Yeah. Where's Daddy Pig?
So you're making toilet roll, man? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, that sounds good.
Only because Daddy squashed all the toilet rolls from him for your letter.
They're all dented, so you can't make them.
I've got no left, have we? It's all gone? Yeah. No. God, are you going to play with Mommy? Yeah. Say bye-bye to Andy and Rich.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, see you in a minute.
Oh, bless you.
David Brown, I don't know if that's Dave Brown Jr. or Senior. What's your view on having no big money finals at F1 venues? Do you think there should be?
No, not really. I wouldn't change any of the venues, put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big carpet, less predictable, I think the best way of putting it is, so they make it more interesting.
Do you think?
I think the beauty about big carp venues, or big carp in particular, is everyone's in with a chance all the way through. Whereas F1s, obviously, I know carp can be wind dominated, but F1's even more so. If you're not on them at the start, it's very hard to pull back. And obviously, they're a showfish. They might, say, for example, 2 to 3 pounds. It's very hard to get anything decent to pull that back. Whereas carp, I still felt in like the fish-off final last year, going into the last half an hour, 4 or 5 big uns, and Jay would have been the same. He'd have been straight back in it. I think the venues where they are now, fantastic. I don't think there's any better venues you could get for them.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But that's the thing, innit? I think as well with carp, it means more methods are brought into play, doesn't it?
Yeah.
F1, some of the venues, do you know what I mean? You fishing shallow, aren't you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Keep it carp.
Especially from sort of a TV perspective for fish show and stuff like that, having all the different methods and the fact that people can catch up probably does help that side of things as well.
And it's exciting, isn't it, when you've got a big wobbly thing on and the camera comes and gets you and sees like a big double in your net. So it's exciting, isn't it, rather than F1 and posting it in your net.
Don't know, didn't catch it.
Hung on a BB rig, yes.
Don't knock it, Jay. Don't knock it, mate.
Not knocking it. It's just for a big final. It's no.
Not right.
Because if you could have your own way with it, would you keep it the same venue each year? Assuming there was enough venues that you could move it round, do you think it'd be better on different venues each year so it's almost fresh to everyone, or do you like it being almost having like hayfield as...
Fishing's fishing, Rich. I mean, obviously we all know what pegs we want, but I mean, look what happened when Jay won at Larford. You know, nobody wanted that peg. Fish are fish. They're obviously wild animals. They move wherever they want to be, so it changes enough for you. The conditions all dictate and everything, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And other than once at Larford, I don't think between Hayfield and Larford, I don't think the same pegs ever won twice either. I know Hayfield definitely hasn't in the fish shows and Mavers since it's been back there.
Yeah.
The same pegs quite, do you know what I mean? It keeps it interesting, doesn't it? It's different every time. Big mood carp in it. Am I going too far? Light on.
There's what?
Am I going all dark? Do I need to turn my light on?
A little bit.
What light on?
I'm probably too bright, aren't I? That big halo.
Someone did comment saying you probably need a cap on, Andrew.
I said I'd put a cap on last time, didn't I? That's better, isn't it?
Paul Jones, do you still get nervous before big matches or not? I read that really badly. He wrote it better than that, but do you get nervous before matches?
Only at the draw I get nervous. I don't like the draw. I hate all of the anticipation of whether you're going to be on one that's got a chance or not. But no, when they get set on the bank, I actually like playing up to it a bit.
It is good, isn't it? Just when you're there, it's just a normal match, isn't it, really? Obviously, proper settles even more when you catch your first fish in that, but it's just a normal match.
So, yeah.
Oh, what just crashed then?
Have I gone?
No, I thought my streaming thing had crashed. It just disappeared because I got an email. Oh, I've lost track of everything now. It's all gone. It's all gone to pot.
Up the tip, Rich. Come on.
That's kind of an interesting one. What does a sponsor expect from you other than match results?
Blood, sweat, and tears most of the time.
Yeah, if you're looking at me, not match results.
Yeah, but it's weirdly match results. Yes, they want to see you do well on the bank, of course they do, but it's not.
It's what you can do for them just as much, in it. You know what I mean?
Yes, the big is creating interesting, good content, isn't it, for social media or magazines or whatever else like that. That's what they want. They want you to be a good, what's the word? Ambassador of the brand. That was big on that.
We got a visitor. Who's this? Hello. You're going to say hello to everyone, Leah?
Hello. Hiya.
Hello.
You ready?
Yeah.
Right, go on then. See you later, baby. Yeah, no, it's what you can do for them, and obviously, what I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say now. She's put me off my stride, folks, proper. I forgot what I was going to say.
Is that it? Just be it. Yeah, I think from my side of things, having kind of to work with anglers as well.
How do you feel about working with us, Rich?
You're a pain in the arse. No, it makes it. I think the biggest thing now for anyone sort of looking to get into it is
Jay. How'd you get sponsored?
If you can get to a point where you're comfortable in front of a camera and you can kind of explain what you're doing better than other people, which probably from you has come from coaching more than anything, hasn't it? But being able to do that without messing up your lines constantly and all that sort of thing, it makes you a lot easier to work with from the marketing side of things. That you can go and blast out 10 videos in a day rather than
28 videos, Rich.
28
the other week with Craig. That's a new record for the fishing industry.
But
I ain't got a clue how you've done that.
Craig's professional though, isn't he?
Fair play, man.
But yeah, it is. We can get the job done, can't we?
Yeah. Right. And Andrew, is there much difference in weight or carbon between the 501 and the 601?
I'm going to say no, not much really. Obviously, the package is a little bit better with the 601. I think you get an extra 2 top kits, both the same distance, and it's slightly better at 16. At 13, you'd not notice a difference hardly whatsoever. 14 and a half, tiny bit of a difference maybe, but 16, there is a bit of a difference between a 6 and a 5. But depends what style of fishing you're doing. You know, if you're not doing loads of 16-metre fishing, it's more sort of 13, the odd 14 and a half, then the 501. It's our best-selling pole by a million miles. But if you're doing quite a bit of 14 and a half and 16, then obviously you go for the 601.
Nice. I think the big thing is get it as soon as you can get down a shop as well. Go out and have a play with them yourself, because that's the biggest thing. Actually,
definitely.
Go and have a waggle.
Yay.
Do you guys ever do coaching sessions like Lee and Rob, or group coaching sessions? That should be.
We're doing a couple this year, don't we?
It's what?
We're doing a couple this year. We've got a couple booked in, haven't we, this year? Just me and Lee.
Yeah, that's a couple of little private ones, isn't it? With just a couple of people. But we plan to just. In fact, I'll take the blame for this one. The uselessness of organisation of finding dates. We just missed it because things happen so quick, don't they? We go from finishing coaching in November, normally-ish, don't we, when it goes quiet. And then the first thing that both of us have to do is book all the work-related stuff in, all the map or matrix and the bait and all that. All them days have to come first. Then we stick a few sneaky match days in, so we don't want to miss the qualifiers. And then the coaching gets booked up so quick, doesn't it? The individual coaching. It's so hard for the two of us, or the three of us as well, when Richie's coming, to find a date that all three of us are free. It's so hard, isn't it, without booking things massively far in advance and then issue the gear because of that.
I know. I think it was like October last year, folks. We had all our dates for this year. You know, each of us went through all our dates, what we could do, and it took us ages to get it done. So it's just getting time. We said last year that we wanted to do this, do our group dates with all three of us, but it's just getting time to do it. We will do it, though, won't we? Definitely going to do it.
Next year we'll have a couple of days, definitely. We'll sort a couple of group days out.
Nice.
And I think we need to do our tours as well, don't we? Like we mentioned last week. Just winning ways on tour.
Yeah, I'll end up driving every flipping one, won't I?
Yes. Right. There's a couple of people just asking about saying all the questions getting answered, but it's basically they're coming through on my screen. There's a delay on it, so there's a delay between this going out. And it's about 10-20 seconds, and then there's a delay coming up on my screen. So if you're asking questions, we're trying to get through as many as possible, but it's just the case of being patient, and they'll probably be delayed slightly. When you're not getting bites, what goes through your mind to change in your approach when fishing on commercials?
Do you need to feed in a different way to attract more fish into your pen? That's the thing, isn't it? Often, if you're not getting bites, you need to either bring bait full into the water or noise into the equation a bit more, because they're the two things that attract fish into your bag, not a volume of baits. That is the worst thing that you can do. So it's whether I need to attract them or whether I think that they're there and they've gone a bit weird. If it's gone weird for everyone else, don't assume that you can make a difference. I mean, sit back and pick an odd fish up. Don't put loads of baits in. Don't spoil your peg and wait for them to feed again.
I do that.
But isn't it? Don't look at what's going on. Would be my biggest thing. If no one else is catching, don't try and do something drastic, because more than likely you blow your peg. Yeah.
And then obviously, if someone is catching, obviously next peg you go and chase them that way wherever they're catching. Simple as that, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. If it's winter, then go towards the fishing. I think this time of year it's often that you're doing something wrong if someone next to you is catching. Because unless they're if they're in the same situation as you, same sort of peg as you, then you should be catching in most situations. If they're then peg wind blowing in, then you're off for a tune in anyway, so just deal with it. But if in the same situation, work out what they're doing and decide whether you need to attract or whether you need to just sit and be patient.
Nice, mate. I like that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's gone.
Andy acts like he's terrible all the time. Why, Andy?
It's just his act, isn't
it? To be fair, he proper lulls you. He proper lulls you into a false sense of security, though, doesn't he? It's like I've always especially with finals and stuff, where we're kind of doing a bit of coverage and everything. I kind of forget he can actually fish a bit because he does so much sticking around.
Right. She said, "Oh, you can do that."
He did it on Golden Reel, didn't he? Like from the middle of nowhere, it was like there or thereabouts, and
he turns into serious Andy. We don't see serious Andy very often, do we? But he does.
Don't see it very often, but when it goes, get ready, folks. That's all I'm saying. It's just I've always been the same, and especially for weights of fish. I'm an absolute nightmare. I've been known to go in kilos. I'll say I've got 20 pounds. They'll have 40 something. I've generally not got a clue what I've got. Just you just keep posting them in your keep nets. You know what I mean? It's
like
just
the silverfish.
I don't mean to upset people saying I've hardly had anything, but then go and have low. It's just one of them things. I've always done it. I haven't got a clue what I've been catching.
Jamie, do you think Andy is the best you've ever seen on a waggler? I'm assuming he means Andy Power because he's saying the one with the hair.
Yeah.
Not me. I thought you meant me.
Not the waggler angler, but no, Andy Power, when it comes to wagglers, is God. Yeah, there's the time that boy's put into it He's next level. No one's as good as him in the country on it. Being able to fit lots of different types of wagglers for carp, he's frightening, that boy. And fair play to
another lad, Jay. Obviously, Kieran Rich, he's taught me loads. He's awesome at wagler game as well. Obviously, he doesn't really fish that much anymore, but he's just phenomenal at that. Proper.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is, but it's something
power these days, yeah, ridiculous. Make me sick.
But what you need, we talked about that last time. Power giving me a tune in a couple of years ago in that Fit Show final. It was one of them moments happen every now and again that make you go, I can't do that and I want to be able to. And I was obsessed for 12 months because of it. You know what I mean? I'd even go as far to say it nearly won me Fish Show because of the effort I put in making me waggler fishing better. And maybe it even won me Match This. You know what I mean? That couple that I had on the waggler. I had so much more confidence in throwing a waggler because I put that much time to it. All ultimately down to that day when Andy gave me a kick in.
Yeah, definitely. Nice.
So, yeah, I suppose that's quite a nice way of looking at it as well, is when you do get beat, rather than just copping the ump and sulking about it, is working out what they've done better and then getting better at them than they are.
Every little detail you want to know, but he will not tell you a flipping thing, Mr. Powell will not. So, I pin him down and steal his waggler rod, but no, it is fair play to him. He's very, very good at that.
Yes.
Someone's asking where the Matchcaster's gone. Don't know. Jake left me. He ran off to Preston, didn't he?
Yeah. I do listen. I listen to all them again. When did I listen to them? I listened to Baggers on the way to. Or that Silverfish final. I listened to Baggers. I still listen to some of them now and again.
Yeah,
they're good. Proper. Really good.
Goes on the way there. I listened to Andy's on the way to All Crossed.
Oh, go on, mate.
Yeah, I've still got them.
No, it's a weird. We've kind of said if it's just a time thing, to be honest, more than anything. Is obviously Spotted Fin is my sort of full-time job. I'm spending time doing Winning Waysy stuff, and then that was pretty much, by the time you've edited it, you've spent an afternoon and an evening driving out, filming it, and all that. You're suddenly spending half your week doing that, and it wasn't even making money. It was costing us money to do. So yeah, there's a point where you have to be sensible. Did a little. Best prank you've ever played on a fellow angler?
I don't know.
This is probably more Andy's ball game, isn't it?
I may or may not have clipped 15 anglers' rods up for like 10 yards when they were chucking 60 yards at Woodged once upon a time. I just sat back and laughed. It was quite fun. I've done the old trick of putting like shots on rigs as well. You know, when they've gone for a walk, come put a shot on. I've never done all that.
What? No, I've never done nothing massive. I remember chucking all the night before we used to go to Whiteacres. We used to throw all the. If you've been out on the beer the night before, you get your chips and then you throw them on your mate's roof of their caravan. It was kind.
They're like the biggest seagulls in the world, though, aren't they?
It's what?
They're the biggest seagulls in the world there, though, as well.
Yeah, massive. They're like cars, aren't they?
Yeah, we always used to do that, so you get woken up about 3 a.m. by a stampede of seagulls.
The question I would like to ask is how many whippings would you suggest on a size 16 or an 18 hook if you're using an 013 hook length? I suppose more of a generic one would be, do you go all the way down as far as you can, or are you like...
Yeah. Idle spade it with that 016, size 16 hook to 013 line. I'd do 9 turns if I was tying a spade end, and I'd do about 15 to 18 if it was a band on a hair rig.
He's done an odd number, folks. You can't do an odd number. It's got to be even. It's like the volume on the remote, on the telly. It's got to be even.
Right. I don't know. I always do 8 or 9 turns out. I don't know why on my spades. Yeah, 8 or 9. Or I do 7 on with 08 because it doesn't like it.
Yeah, so obviously the more you go on a finer line, it can snap a lot easier, can't it? 013, I'd go like 10 or 12, but if it was an eye, you go right the way to the bend. So obviously your band or whatever you're using, your last two, your spike, whatever, is always at that point there. So it's always coming off the back of your hook.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What? So is that the less on doing spade ends on lighter lines, you use less turns?
Definitely, yeah. Up to 8. I don't do any more than that. But
Really?
when I'm doing 0.12 more, I'll do 10 or 12. Usually 12, just a little bit stronger. And then the other thing as well, when I'm I don't know what you do, Jay. When I'm doing the eye, I'll go all the way up and then I'll come back down 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I just come back once. Yeah, just I do know what you mean. It's like lock it, just like go over the top of it. Yes, just once I do that, but yes, I like that. Just keep going as far as you can is the best answer, isn't it? With a eye hook. What you doing?
It's when it's a QM as well, doesn't it?
You've got a bog roll, man. Showing them you got your bog.
You found a toilet roll? Oh, it's a bog roll, man. Go on, man. To me.
You've gone weird hand as well.
Oh, wow.
How many boys here then? My boys just went to we never made me boy famous, have we? Funny. Well, he's not playing.
Is he on?
He just walks out.
When on your on coaching days, do you prefer coaching someone who's never fished before or someone with fishing experience?
Someone with it.
Do you?
Yeah, every day.
Oh, go ahead. I like coaching those who've never fished because they haven't got any bad habits. You can teach them and then you can have them doing it within sort of like 10, 15 minutes. Whereas, like, if they're so used to and so in tune with doing what they've done for like however many years, it's really hard to get them to change ways with some anglers, especially casting. Not so bad with a pole, but casting wise, it's so hard to get them. Those who fish for years, so hard to get them casting in the right spot. Whereas if they've not fished at all ever, you can get them casting that same spot within 10 or 15 minutes. Are you the other way, AJ?
No, I do the bad habits things with casting and all things like that. But I think I like teaching club anglers. I mean, I love having club anglers, and they want to step it up a bit. They're the ones I feel difference to. So they have a good understanding, but you just show them. I mean, what they're doing is not quite right because of whatever reason. And you fix it. And you say, this is right, go and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing as well, though, Jay, when they've not done it before, you can have an extra long go, can't you? You know what I mean? When you're starting off, and they're like, right, you need to do this now, let me show you. I'm a nightmare for that.
Someone asking that same question we answered at the start. What will happen with the big money finals this year, and will they be fish behind closed doors? No,
they just won't happen, unfortunately. I can't see Maver or Fisher taking place at all. Golden Reel, I think Phil would love it to go ahead, and I think it will, all depending on whether we have that time frame between the final and when we're allowed back.
Yeah. He's spitting all the qualifiers in as well, isn't it, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's the qualifiers thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think that's...
We'll see. You take that one then.
What are we saying with the few people that have qualified already? Do you reckon that's... Or have you heard anything? Is that going to be carried over sort of thing to next year?
They've got to get a pass for next year, surely. They can't be doing the qualifiers again. Surely they should have a pass for next year, 100%.
They're in a match, then they qualify. It'll be one less qualifier or one less person in the final next year, won't it?
Yeah. We're still getting people asking about the bog roll bomb challenge. That's a better name for it, Andrew. Oh, you got a dog and everything.
My title was massive. Hey, I'm Splodge. Go on, Splodge. No, my title was massive. It took all my breath out. I'm just trying to write it down. I'm like, what can I call it?
But yeah,
30 foot, 10 foot bomb.
Bog roll
challenge. I couldn't remember what it was called.
But yeah, if you go on the Winning Ways Facebook page, it's all on there. They've all been shared. And yeah, if you want to give it a go yourself, it's a bog roll at 30 feet away, so 3 rod lengths of a 10-foot rod.
Yeah, 10-foot bomb rod, ounce lead, 30 foot away. You've got to be sat down, you two.
Oh, what's that down?
Yeah. That was the sat down thing. All the carpet boys did it standing up, so I thought I can do that. And to be fair, I was handicapped because I didn't even have my glasses on. I didn't even know there was a bog roll on.
Go on, mate.
Right.
Just shook your lead around me. Like I wiped me phone out twice. Just not.
See, at least you was doing it with a phone. I was doing it with like a proper camera, and I was like, yeah, that's like $2,000 down the toilet if I hit it.
Not our winning ways, camera mate. Don't doing
that. Right. Last couple of questions because we're well over an hour already.
That's gone quick, that.
As again, hasn't it? Which method works best in the warmer months? Fishing shallow or on the deck?
Depends whereabouts in the deck. Obviously, if it's 2 foot or less or in a mud line, it can be devastating, can't it? But just for pure efficiency, I generally, you can't beat shallow fishing because they're there for a reason. They're there because they want to eat, because you've got them there, they're feeding, and they're so easy to catch.
Yes, I love that. Depends on the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have to have a look. You see them, they're all up. If you can't see them, fish on the deck. But I'll tell you what, I've had a little, not an edge, but something that I find a lot is that at venues, Heron Rock did it for a while, that where people are obsessed with fishing shallow later in the year, and they neglect to put a deck rig underneath it, by fishing on deck, you get a lot of fish to yourself while everyone else is catching. So it's many carp, you catch all the carp, and everyone else tries to fish for F1s. It happens a little bit of partridge sometimes as well later in the year. So yeah, don't be drawn into having to fish shallow because everyone else is. Have a rig for both and see what's best.
Yeah. Do you find it as well with fishing margins, where especially in the summer, everyone's sort of like obsessed that last hour you need to be down the edge, but there's days where it just doesn't work. Everyone's wasting time or not getting proper bites, and if you'd have just sat on that short line getting the odd bite sort of thing in the deeper water, you could have won it sort of thing.
Oh, massive. We'll talk about, I don't know about you, and I talk about that with every single coach that I ever have, is that you never go down the edge until you see someone else catch you properly down the edge. You can't have that preconceived idea that if you fish a match short then long then in the edge last hour. Too many people do that. They come down there just because, it's 3 o'clock, it's time to go down the edge. You're doing it. If you're catching somewhere else, you stay on it.
That's it. I mean, it's the big thing, isn't it? Never ever come up feeding fish. You know, Daddy May drummed that into me from an early age, and it's so true. You've just got to stay on them until something's like not quite right, or you can see someone like in it somewhere. Then you've got to change and adapt.
Yes.
Nice. So last one, just to finish everything off, because what we're on 1 hour and 7 minutes already, Will.
Go on by. Let's do another hour. Come on, bonus time.
You've run out of wine. You can't do another hour.
Fill that up, though. I'll have to go and fill that up.
After this is all over, meaning Corona and all that fun stuff, what is going to be the first venue you want to go back to?
First venue?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to fish a big match. I'm just dying to fish a big qualifier as soon as possible. Or do you know what I'd love to happen? Go back to the Tunnel Bar Masters. That'd be mega if that was like the first proper match we went back for. So I'm going to say Tunnel.
When's that, Jay? When's that?
That is June. First week in June, I think.
There's a chance on me, isn't there? There's a chance.
For one, I don't know. But it'd be nice if it would, yeah. Just any big match at any venue. That's what I'm after.
Just getting out fishing for me. But I just want to go fishing. I'm not bothered where it is. You know, obviously, I'm lucky. I've got the Dane 5 minutes walk from my house.
I was just saying that. You know what you might have if it works out to that 12-week thing? It's on June.
The opening day.
Actually allow back. How bad did that be for you? Straight on the river, all excited like the old days, isn't it?
Mate, I'll be setting my alarm for 3 in the morning. I'll be straight down there, bait apron on and everything, Johnny Wilson style, clambering over fields, get me on them. She'll be definitely.
Yeah, it would. That would make things exciting if it did things like that. Yeah, in fact, that's a different answer. Yeah, it'd be nice if we start us off pleasure fishing first, and then we can fish matches because it'll be like old times.
Yeah,
what happens?
Proper miss it.
Right.
Give us a wave, so.
Wave it, Andy.
Yeah.
Right, and just kind of clear up. There's at the moment we've got kind of loads of questions that we're answering from Facebook, Instagram, and various other platforms, and obviously we've got the questions coming through live. So everyone asking it that their questions got missed. Basically, we just can't fit everything in. We've only got a limited amount of time. So if you do want to get, if it did get missed or anything. I'll put a post up later in the week on the Winning Ways Facebook page. So if you leave your questions for there, we can work our way through them. If we can answer them straight away, we will do, or it'll be on the next live feed, which is going to be at the same time next week, isn't it? Assuming we're still there.
We're going. You're going to answer the questions next week, aren't you? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sorted.
No, sorry.
So, but yeah, same time, 7 o'clock Tuesday next week, and as long as we're in this little lockdown for, I think, isn't it?
We will carry things on. Why not?
I've got to come up with another challenge. I've got to think of something else to do, not the bog roll one. I'll think of something else to do as well.
Nice. Any final words of wisdom?
Pardon?
Any final words of wisdom?
Don't have kids. Don't have kids.
Don't forget the rest of the bottle when you have a glass of wine.
Right. We'll end that there. Thank you very much to everyone who's asked questions. Apologies to anyone we didn't get through to answer in. But if you go on the Winning Ways Facebook page, you leave it on there. We'll try and do it next time. Thank you very much.
The waving. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good.